Welcome back students. This is Mathura from Ponvidhyashram Kolapakam. We were in Unit 1 Diversity in the Living World, in which we are in the Biological Classification chapter. We have seen the kingdom Monera. Now we are moving on to the kingdom Protista. Coming to the characteristics of protists, protists are eukaryotic organisms that cannot be classified as plant, animal or fungus. They are mostly unicellular, but some like algae or multicellular. Kelp or seaweed is a large multicellular protist that provides food, shelter and oxygen for numerous underwater ecosystems. Even though kelp resembles a plant, it is not classified into kingdom Plantae because it lacks the cellular complexity of plant cells. Though photosynthetic protists are autotrophs and produce their own food by photosynthetic process, they doesn't belong to the kingdom Plantae because they lacks the cellular complexity of the cells. They doesn't come under plant, animals or fungus category because they possess both similar categories with plants, animals and fungus, but they have some dissimilarities also. So they cannot be grouped under those kingdom Plantae or Animaliae. Protists can be heterotrophic, which means they obtain the energy they need to live by consuming other organisms, or they can be autotrophic, which means they obtain energy from the environment through photosynthesis, the process of capturing light energy and storing it in carbohydrates. So they can be both photosynthetic or heterotrophic, that is parasitic or saprophytic. Protists primarily live in water, though some live in moist soil. They can be found almost anywhere on earth where there is liquid water, even in humans. So they are ubiquitous in nature. They are seen everywhere in the earth. Coming to classification of kingdom Protista, this kingdom Protista is classified into three major divisions, that is Protistan algae, which is photosynthetic in nature, slime molds, which are saprophytic in nature, protozoan protists, which are both autotrophic and parasitic in nature. So Protistan algae or photosynthetic protists, they are subdivided into chrysophytes, dinoflagellates and euglenoids. Slime molds are consumer decomposer protists, so they are saprophytic in nature. And protozoan protists consist of amoeboid protozoans, flagellated protozoans, ciliated protozoans and sporozoan protozoans. They are further classified on the basis of locomotory movement. So coming to classification of protozoa based on the mode of locomotion. We have seen in the protozoan protists, they are classified, subclassified based on their locomotory movement. So they are amoeboids, they move with pseudopodia. Ciliates, they move with cilia, hair-like structure. And sporozoa, they are non-motile, they are sessile in nature. And flagellates, they contain flagella for their locomotion. Coming to nutrition in protists, protozoa are chemoorganoheterotrophic protists. They use chemicals for obtaining energy, so they are called as chemoorganoheterotrophic protists. They are saprophytes. The nutrients obtained from dead organic matter through enzymatic degradation. Osmotrophy, they absorb soluble products present in the environment. Holozoic nutrition, they acquire the solid nutrients acquired by phagocytosis. Phagocytosis and pinocytosis is seen in amoeba, in which the pseudopodia elongates and engulf the prey and digest and intake the nutrition. And that type of nutrition is called as holozoic nutrition, which is seen in amoeba. Photolithoautotrophic protists, they are strict aerobes, use photosystems 1 and 2 for oxygenic photosynthesis. So they use oxygen as a photosynthetic base and they are photolithoautotrophic protists. Mixotrophic protists use organic and inorganic carbon compounds. They use both organic and inorganic carbon compounds, then they are called as mixotrophic protists. Coming to photosynthetic protists, they are called as chrysophytes, and these chrysophytes consist of diatoms and golden algae. They are found in both fresh and marine water, microscopic and float in water current. Most of them are photosynthetic. These are basically unicellular. They are responsible for 50% of organic matter synthesized in biosphere. So they constitute 50% of organic matter of the biosphere. Mainly they have asexual reproduction, that is done by binary fission, but some reproduce sexually as well. So the sub classification of chrysophytes include diatoms and golden algae. First we will see diatoms. Diatoms are a major group of algae and are among the most common types of phytoplankton. Most diatoms are unicellular, although they can exist as colonies in the shape of filaments or ribbons. Example, Fragillaria. Zigzags, example, Tabellaria, or stars, example, Astrionella. They can be seen in any forms as a filaments. Diatoms generally range in size from 2 to 200 micrometer. The skeletons of a diatom or frustule is made of very pure silica, hydrated silicon dioxide coated with a layer of organic material. These frustules show a variety in form, that is a wide diversity in form, but are usually almost bilaterally symmetrical. Modes of nutrition and reproduction. Chloroplasts are yellowish brown or greenish brown containing chlorophyll A and C. They contain fucoxanthin that provides brownish tint. Since they are photosynthetic autotrophs, so they contain chlorophyll A and C. Chlorophyll B is absent here, and they contain fucoxanthin that provides a brownish tint. They do not possess flagella except in reproductive phase. Only in reproductive phase they have flagella, and food is reserved in the form of oils and leucocin. So oils and leucocin is the reserved food material here. Mostly reproduce asexually by binary fission. So they reproduce asexually by binary fission, and sexual reproduction varies from isogamy to oogamy. Example is Navicula, Amphipleura and Cimbella. Coming to the economic importance of diatoms, they act as a sources of food and oxygen for heterotrophs. Since they are autotrophs, they becomes the primary producer. Since they produce their own food by photosynthesis, they are consumed by the primary consumer, that is herbivorous heterotrophs. Deposits of these shells used as filtering aids, abrasives, cleansers and paints. Since they have silica in their cell wall, these deposits of diatoms are used as filtering aids, abrasives and cleansers and paints. World's oil and gasoline supply comes from diatom fossil beds. Since they are reserve food is leucocin and oils, world supply gasoline supply comes from the diatom fossils. They are used in toothpaste, and it is also an environmental indicator of pollution. When the diatoms grow in abundance in a water body, then it indicates that the water body is contaminated with so much of organic materials. Coming to the second subdivision, that is golden algae. The main characteristics of cryophyceae are it is commonly known as golden algae. It's a group of algae which is found in freshwater forms. So golden algae is seen in freshwater forms. It is unicellular or colonial, and it may exist as a single individual unicellular organism, or it may be grouped as colonial organisms. The pigments are chlorophyll A, C and fucoxanthin. This fucoxanthin which gives the characteristic golden color. The presence of fucoxanthin gives the golden color. It stores energy in the form both as carbohydrate and oil droplets. As a general characteristics of chrysophytes, they store the food material as oil and leucocene. Different types of cell wall covers by cellulosic envelopes called lorica or by silica scales, whereas others miss the outer cell wall. Flagella apical and unequal in length, and some species have haptonema. So the flagella is apical, it is present at the tip and it is unequal in length. Asexual reproduction by binary fission and sporogenesis. So asexual reproduction is done by binary fission and sporogenesis, and sexual reproduction is done by isogamous, anisogamous and oogamous. The life cycle is haplontic. Haplontic life cycle is it is the gametophytic phase is dominant. So the gametophytic phase is haploid in nature. So if it is dominant, then they are called as haplontic. So coming to facts about dinoflagellates. The next classification is dinoflagellates, and major characteristics of dinoflagellates are unicellular plankton. They are unicellular plankton. They belong to the phylum Dinoflagellata. They have a dinokaryotic nucleus. Contrary to prokaryotic or eukaryotic, their chromosomes are permanently condensed. The largest dinoflagellates are the Noctiluca. It is 2 mm in size. So they have a larger cell size. There are over 20,000 species of dinoflagellates. The zooxanthellae gives coral its color. So the dinoflagellate zooxanthellae gives the coral reef the color. They go and deposit on coral reefs and gives the color. Dinoflagellates belong to the kingdom Protista. Protists are organisms that are similar to organisms in animal, plants and fungus kingdom, but they are different. For example, a protist may have chlorophyll but move on its own, or it may move on its own but it is unicellular. So they belong to the phylum Protist. And dinoflagellates reproduce asexually through cell division or by the formation of zoospores and cysts. And the example for dinoflagellates are Peridinium and Gymnodinium. And this Gymnodinium, we have the unique characteristics. If they are present in abundance in the water, if the water is contaminated with organic matters, then they grow in abundance, and since they are red in color, they form a red tide in the water body, and they release some toxins which kills the aquatic animals that are present in that water body. So the red tide caused by this Gymnodinium causes the death of aquatic animals. Coming to euglenoids, this is the third division, and they have a unique characteristics called plant animal. Let us see what is it. Have characteristics like both plants and animals. They are one-celled. They are unicellular. Many have chloroplast. Can produce their own fruit. They are both phototrophic and heterotrophic in nature. They are both autotrophic and heterotrophic in nature. When light is not present, they feed on bacteria and other protists. This character makes them look like animal. Has a strong flexible layer that helps it move and change shape. They have flagellum. Eye spot helps them find light. They have an eye spot so that they can see the light. They are both phototrophic and heterotrophic in nature. If there is a presence of sunlight, they becomes autotrophs and produces their own food through photosynthesis. When there is a devoid of sunlight, or they don't find sunlight, they feed on other bacteria and protozoans that are present in that environment. So they are both plant and animal like, so they are called as plant animal. This is a unique characteristics of Euglena. So with this we end this video here. In the next video we will deal with consumer or decomposer protists, that is slime molds, and the protozoan protists. Thank you children.